Hi, I'm Becca Jablonski, Associate Professor and Food Systems Extension Economist in the Department of Agricultural and Resource Economics at Colorado State University. We live in a state where farmers and ranchers produce some of the best food in the world, but getting that same healthy food onto the menus in our local schools can be a challenge. In this episode of Community Voices, we'll hear from people working to help solve this puzzle. Together, they're helping bring healthy, locally produced food to more students right here at home.
This is my 20th year working for Trinidad School District, starting off as a kitchen helper, becoming a head cook, and then now food service director.
I love being with the students. I love interacting with them and their families and looking for unmet solutions that we can find to help better their education as well as their whole well-rounded personality and help them find their path that they might be able to contribute to Trinidad.
Trinidad, Colorado's School District Number 1 is a great example of how important school meals can be. The overwhelming majority of the district's nearly 800 students are on free or reduced price eligible lunches. So the team in Trinidad knows how vital school meals are to the well-being of their community.
Because we are at 82% free and reduced in our population, and the fact that Trinidad, the town is high poverty, it's important that all students receive a free breakfast and a free lunch. It's very, very important.
So that means for some of our kids, that is their meal in the day. And school meals have really reduced in a lot of their calorie intake and then their nutrient balance.
The quality and accessibility of good produce and fresh food is so important to our community, and it's a very big concern amongst our staff that when the students aren't here for a long period of time because of shutdowns and remote instruction, that the students will not be getting enough of the valued nutrition that they need.
Providing healthy school meals every day is a challenge, which is why partnering with local food producers would seem ideal. But making those connections can be difficult. That's where nonprofits like Nourish Colorado are helping build bridges across the state.
So what I do is really focus on supporting our institutions to serve healthier foods, whether or not that is scratch-made meals, more fresh fruits and vegetables, and with a big focus on trying to bring more local products into their institutional meal programs. We are a statewide nonprofit. We've been around since about 2008. Originally, we were Live Well Colorado. We went through a name change in 2020. To really focus in on transforming the food system. Our main goal is to ensure that every single Coloradan has access to the nourishing food that they want and desire. And we do this because our food system right now it's not set up to truly value the entire process of getting the food from the field onto people's plates. And so we really want to focus on creating a true value chain food system where every single person, from the farmers to the workers in the field, to those who are transporting it, to those who are preparing it, are truly valued and appreciated for their contribution to what they do to ensure that we are fed.
I'm a third-generation farmer here in Colorado. Family's been here over 120 years in Weld County. So a lot of people want to return to farming, and I think it's opened up markets that weren't there before. Just this societal shift to let's eat healthy, let's better ourselves. Feedback early on, and this is 7 years ago when we started, is that, well, we don't buy local, we don't have the staff to process it, or we don't know how to do it. And I think that's where Nourish Colorado stepped in.
Transforming the food system is no small task. It is a massive puzzle. And this is really how we look at it, this is a puzzle, and everybody has their own puzzle piece. They all play a role. And what we really try to focus on is, what is your role and what is your value and how do you contribute to this? So not only are we looking at the institutions and the people who are buying the food and planning the menus, usually the food service director, we also want those cooks involved too, making sure they have the skills, the culinary skills, the time management skills, to where, again, if they're getting a 50-pound bag of carrots in their door and they're used to opening up bags of baby carrots, we want them to be happy and excited about these carrots because they're coming from the farmer down the street.
So they used to do a lot of scratch cooking back in the day. I don't know if We still do a lot of scratch cooking, but maybe not as much as they used to when I went to school in the school districts. But Nourish Colorado has helped us with equipment. We've done grants before, and they come and they do our trainings, and they help the girls with better quality in the food, showing us the food safety, how to use a knife, and just we've gotten a lot of equipment from working with that. Nourish Colorado.
A lot of what the schools up until the last few years has been buying processed, already pre-cut food to make distribution easy. And so Nourish was really focused on that, and that opened up the doors for us, is that these schools weren't intimidated buying local or not buying something that wasn't already pre-cut and ready to serve.
The kids are the customers. They really are. And we need those parents who are making the decisions, whether or not these kids will be eating a school lunch or not, to also really understand what's happening in the school meal environment to make the food better and use local products. And we need our farmers. We need the ranchers there as well, so they can see, one, how to enter this institutional market, because it is a challenge. Especially the school one, there's a lot of regulations that you have to follow. So we really help them understand how to navigate that process and start getting themselves in the door effectively.
Just being public institutions, being publicly funded, they're required to have a competitive bidding process. And a lot of people see that as just a lot of paperwork. They don't know how to fill it out.
CSU has the availability to help support our farmers and ranchers with financial education and that contract building, what that looks like.
We like to also have our CSU extension specialists there. They've been really helpful on the agricultural side with things like farm food safety, crop planning, all of the stuff where, again, I'm a chef. I can help people figure out how to make the food, but when it comes to what to plant and how much to grow, we need those experts there on the ground helping us with that process.
As all the pieces come together, from administrators to food producers, cooks, and ultimately students and their families, together they are helping to create added value throughout their communities.
We've seen kids where their parents might not like broccoli, but we get the kids to like it in a school, and then they go home and they're at the grocery store and they're like, Mom, Dad, we need to buy broccoli because I had it at school and they roasted it and it was the most amazing thing. And that's when the magic starts happening, and the kids are, they can truly be the drivers of change and even start changing their parents' eating habits as well, along with setting them up with healthy eating habits for the rest of their life too. We like to consider the kitchen as the heart of a home. When you can get the school environment set up as the heart of the community and really branch out to where it's not just kids coming to class and they're learning how to do math and reading and everything, but then they're actually doing gardening and culinary education, and you're transferring that out into the community.
A lot of kids don't know where their food comes from and what's in it, whereas when you grow it and you harvest it and you bring it to the cafeteria, you discover that the whole process in that actually what's in the food came from the soil and the air, and that makes a huge difference.
Number one, if you have kids and they go to a school district and they are not eating a school lunch, have them participate in the school meal program. That's number one across the board. Again, the more kids that participate, the more money that's coming into the system, the more local food they can buy. Even if you aren't thrilled with the meal program, with the way it is now, we need your investment, we need your participation. If you don't have kids, still go check out a school lunch. I think you would be floored with how things have changed over the last 20 years, really, with what's happening.
We would love to share with you our portion of this farm to school. So from start to finish, literally from the field or the farm to the institution. That's setting up those contracts, and CSU has the availability to help support our farmers and ranchers.
Our goal for Colorado and Nourish Colorado, big vision is we're actually not needed anymore. We have successfully created a true value food system, and the workers are being paid a living wage. they're valued for their work. I want our schools to actually be looked at as school restaurants. This is where you can get the best quality meal in your community for a darn good price as well. And so we would love to see that happen. We would love to see more public and private companies working together with our institutions to really support this and build this up more. Our agricultural workers are really respected and valued for their time and their contribution. And people have access to the food that they want, and they can get it wherever they want.
We hope that it gets the students, and families to want to come and eat into the kitchens, food quality for the students.